Hey there, it's Katherine Norland. I wanted to tell you something before it went away out of my brain. It occurred to me that when I was afraid of being wrong and I was scared of making mistakes because of what other people would think of me, it left me paralyzed. I didn't put my work out there. I didn't let anybody see it because I didn't want them to judge me or to think I was dumb or that I didn't know what I was doing. And I just wanted to encourage you, because if you're afraid of being wrong, you will never create anything. You'll never create anything new, You can't learn everything there is to know about your profession, your artwork, your gifts, your skills, your talents, any of that without making mistakes along the way. I mean, those who don't make mistakes aren't attempting anything. They're not stepping out of their comfort zone. They're not trying anything new. And if you're worried about what other people are going to say or what other people are going to think, just don't worry about people saying you're wrong. Mistakes is how we learn. It's not possible to do things and not make mistakes along the way. So I know you guys know this, but there might be some of you that have been holding back, that have something you want to do, that you want to share, something that you want to put out in the world, something you're dying to create. But there's this little voice in the back of your head going, what if it isn't right? What if I'm wrong? What if this is a mistake? What if I don't do this right? And you're kind of held back and reserved from what you want to do. So please let me encourage you to put your work out there before it's perfect. Put your work out there and the messy mistakes all along the way. That's where we learn. Look at the creators of the iPhone. They're the perfect example, because what do? They did what they thought was good enough at the time, and then all the customers gave them feedback and said, oh, I wish this was better. Oh, you should change that. This needs to be different. And then they listened to it, and then they made the changes that the customers suggested. So they changed it along the way. They didn't wait till it was absolutely amazing and perfect before they put it out. And they're brilliant, because then they put out the next version with all the comments you told them to fix, and you spend another $1,000 on the next version. So not only do you not have to be perfect along the way, sometimes if you put it out before it's ready, your customers are going to be the ones that tell you what to fix, what needs to be done differently. You don't always know what there is to fix without getting that customer feedback. So put it out there. You can sell it once, you can sell it twice, you can sell it 3 times. Anyway, there was a poem I was reading, and it was a poem about making mistakes. And I read it and I thought, you know what? I needed to share this because it's important not to overlook these mistakes. And now that I have people around me that know what they're doing with formatting, so in case you don't know what I'm talking about, when I first put my poems out there, I didn't know what I was doing. And I was embarrassed of my first version of the book. And that's why I spent 2020 rewriting that whole book, and I put out a second version 8 years later, because I've studied, I learned about all different things about poetry that I didn't know before. And I've also grown spiritually, so I really wanted to not only put out better poetry, but better content spiritually. But if I didn't put the first book out there, I wouldn't have had the second edition to do. So don't paralyze yourself because you think somebody is going to say that you're wrong and that they're going to point it out. They might, me putting the first book out, they might think I'm dumb. But you guys know that's not a big deal. I would rather put stuff out there and have people say I'm wrong for doing it than be paralyzed and be worried that someone says it's wrong. Create something. Put your work out there. Don't be stifled anymore just because of that little voice in the back of your head is saying, what if I'm wrong? This is a mistake. What if I don't do this right? What if people think? What if I mess it up? What if? Just please don't. Don't listen to that voice, because sometimes you're not going to know the right thing to do until you do the wrong thing. Do you ever think of that? Oh, don't be second guessing yourself and say, oh, I shouldn't have done it this way. Let's try it this way first. It's not going to be perfect. But if you hold back and you wait until things are perfect, until you know everything about everything, and you've studied all the theories and all the perfect this or the perfect that, yeah, you are robbing the world of your wonderful, beautiful, creative gifts, skills, and talents. Put it out there wrong. Use the 80% rule. When it's 80% as good as you can get it, then you put it out there. I remember listening to Marie Forleo talk once, and she said something like, if you're not embarrassed of the first thing you put out there, then you waited too long. So put it out there. Be embarrassed, because productivity is where it's at. It's creativity as the new currency. So go and cash it. We are waiting for you. We want to see what you've got. We need your gifts and your skills and your talents, okay? So don't deprive us. Don't deprive us of those skills because you think they're not good enough. I just want to tell you about another time I was about to compile one of my books of poetry, and I'm reading through them all, and I said, oh, this poem isn't good enough. I'm not going to put this in the book. And I could hear God speak to my heart and say, are you writing this book for you? I said, no. Well, if you're not writing it for you, this poem isn't for you anyway. It's for someone else who needs to hear it. So guys, don't be your own worst judge. Don't be your own worst critic. There's people that need what you do, and you can't stop it and block it because you think it isn't good enough, because you're not good enough may be the very thing to change someone's life. Your not being perfect may rescue someone out of a pit they desperately need to get out of. So please get out of your own way and remember, done beats perfect every time. Go out there. People deserve to see that gift. And you deserve to start making some money off your gifts and talents and helping the world. All right, love you guys. Live true, love hard, shine bright.